What's up, everybody? I'm Anahola Joe Pahukula, and this is another episode of the Countdown. We're produced by Motivate Sports and Oakley approved. This week, we got a great show for you. Bass fishing from deep in the heart of Kauai. We've also got another edition of Joel's Junk, and we'll show you what goes on under Aloha Stadium, plus some drag racing. But to start things off, D2 football semifinals at Vidina Stadium, Kapa'a versus Damien. Check it out. For 2 straight seasons, the Kapa'a Warriors hosted a Division II semifinal, Lahaina Luna in 2015. This year, Damien of the ILH, who got to the semis with a 40-0 win over Waialua. The scoring started in the first quarter. A Kapena Tekshera 1-yard touchdown run, his 5th rushing score of the season. With the extra point, 7-zip green and white, and the home crowd was loving it. The Warriors made it 14-0 in the second quarter. Rhino Banasihan a 2-yard score. With 4:55 left in the first half, lightning struck Lihui as Dustin Ramsey-Burdette picked off a Damien pass, getting some blocks, and number 21 goes down the sideline, 79 yards on the pick six, 21-zip Warriors at the break. The second half was a different story as the Marnoks took it to the 3-time KIF champs. The boys from Kalihi got on the scoreboard, a 25-yard touchdown pass, Marcus Falfata Pedrina to James Kapilioha Livingston Lopez, 21-7 Kapa'a in the third. With 9:10 remaining, Damien continued to solve the Kapa'a defense. Shauna Piki hauled in a 13-yard touchdown pass as the Marnoks closed in on the Warriors. But it was this 30-yard run by Kapena Tekshera that sealed the deal for the Warriors as they took the win back to Mailehuna Road and another trip to the D2 finals at Aloha Stadium against Lahaina Luna. Right now, we hear the winning coach of the Kapa'a Warriors, Philip Raposo, as he guided his team to another D2 state final at Aloha Stadium. And Coach, it wasn't easy, huh?
Oh, no, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. When we got Damien in our bracket, we was like, oh boy, you know. But the great thing is we got him here. We don't want to play them in Aloha Stadium, you know what I mean?
You know, we talked about it from the beginning of the year that Damien is one of the 3 teams that we talked about from the preseason and sure came through. It was a battle this afternoon. What they do in the second half that confused you guys?
I don't think they confused us. They just brought it. You know what I mean? They just outplayed us in the second half, you know. We were tired. I'm pretty sure they were too. I think they weren't ready for that first, initial hit. But once they gathered themselves, they got to the half. You know, they got some momentum going into the half, even though they didn't score. But once they came back, they came as a different team.
You know, heading into this year's state championship game at Aloha Stadium, what can you take from what happened last season, the preparation, the pregame, and the game that you can help this team finally bring one home?
Well, I think the experience, for one, is going to help us, We've been in some battles. Today is just another big battle for us, I think this year we're going to be a little bit more focused. Last year, I think we were too confident. Maybe not overconfident, but we were confident. We didn't have any fear in us, We went into the championship undefeated. Nobody scored on us, and we're like, But this year we've been battle tested, so I think that's going to help us the most.
How's it feel to get back to the state title game?
It was really good. Me and my team is going to work hard this whole week, and then hopefully we can get it done.
We'll talk about the pick in the first half because I think they went 79 yards. Talk about the whole play.
At first, I didn't even know I caught it. I see it in my hand. I was like, oh no! And then we just ended up running down the sideline. I got a couple good blocks from my teammates, and then ended up making it there.
Well, right on. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You're one of the big stars of the day. 2 fumble recoveries. First of all, talk about the first fumble, then the second fumble.
Well, the first fumble, I was told to blitz, so I did, and then I seen the ball right there. The QB dropped it. I just jumped on it right there. I don't know, I just jumped on it.
What about the second fumble?
The second fumble, one of the D linemen stripped it out while they were being pushed to the end zone. They see it right there, rolled right to my foot. I picked it up, I just ran, just started running.
Hey, get a corn dog and a Arizona green tea.
That's $4.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now let's get back to the show here. Hey, congratulations to the Kapaa Warriors. They're headed to the D2 finals at Aloha Stadium against Lahaina Luna. We'll have highlights of that game on the next episode of The Countdown. But right now, we'll throw a curveball at you. We've got bass fishing from the interior of Kauai.
Oh yeah, baby, that's another one. Now let's get this straight. I love fishing, and I've done it for a long time. I'll do all kinds of fishing, and I do it mostly for the fun, relaxation, exercise, and to hear and feel a fish pull my drag. If I can catch a few to take home and eat, better yet. One of my favorite types of fishing is freshwater. I'll do catfish, trout, and tilapia, but bass fishing is where it's at for me, all catch and release. I'll go after smallies, largemouth, even two canaries. I've got a couple of friends who fueled the passion when I was a kid, and they got me started fishing for bass. Just want to throw out a huge mahalo to these guys. Pat Victorino, David Sisan, Hoku and Jonah Kauai, and my brother Kaleo. All I can say is that with these brothers, we've had some crazy adventures, and that's what makes those memories last forever. As you can see, I love to use topwater lures, buzzbaits, jitterbugs, and Zaro spoofs. Mostly because it's exciting when a fish goes after it, hit or miss. Now that's the rush. I'll fish walking the side of a river, a bank of a reservoir, but getting on my mud duck, now that's turning to my favorite way to go bassing. Another big smallmouth. You don't need expensive gear or even a kayak to have fun. You just gotta get off your kole and go. Yee doggy!
Always a great time bass fishing here on Kauai. If you guys want to know where those honey holes are, too bad. I am not telling you. You got to figure that one out for yourself. You ready? You ready, Todd? There we go. Bass fishing. Now let's go to Joel's Junk. What a horrible transition. But anyways, another edition of Joel's Junk. Welcome back to our messy satellite office in Puhi. And folks, I promise you, we will get it cleaned up. But for this week, I've got some really cool things to show you, including a Hall of Famer and some out-of-the-ordinary junk. Remember, sports collectibles come in all forms, shapes, and sizes. And this week, I'm going to prove that to you. Now, leading things off, I've got something that's normally free. You can find it at the venue in which that team plays at, or the city or town in which that team plays in. And what I'm talking about are pocket schedules. They normally include ticket information, dates, times, and opponent. As you can see, it's a men's and women's Portland State pocket schedule. Seattle Mariners, that's Felix Hernandez. Now, I started collecting pocket schedules when my brother and I took a 2-week baseball trip to SoCal and the Pacific Northwest, picked up a few, held on to it, then later on, it turns out it's a sports collectible. Well, first of all, you get it for free, so it can't get any better than that. But here's a couple more familiar to you. Michael Carter, UH football. Tim Shepard, UH basketball. I have fun collecting them. They don't take up a whole lot of room, and like I said, it's free. Here's another example of all forms, shapes, and sizes. Remember these? These are Pogs, Robert Kekaula and Rob Fukuzaki from KITV4 Sports. They went out and did their own thing and probably made a good chunk of change out of it. It's also a really cool keepsake. Remember, Pogs were big in the 90s. I mean, people were going crazy. Everybody had a Pog. If you didn't have a Pog, who were you? Everybody had Pogs. Everybody was selling Pogs. And first of all, it's small, was fairly cheap, and easy to store. How's this? They made card holders or Pog holders just for Pogs. That's how big it was, including the mainland. I've got a bunch of Pogs, but these are my favorites right here. Rob Fukuzaki, Robert Kikaula. The next item up for bid has got a really cool story to go with it. Hall of Famer Frank Thomas of the Chicago White Sox. Now the Big Hurt played for several major league teams, but most notably the Chi Sox. He came out of Auburn University when Bo Jackson was there. Now the Big Hurt also played tight end for War Eagle. Now here's the story, and it's a pretty good one. We were at the Hilton Hawaiian Village getting Pro Bowl autographs. All of a sudden, I told my cousin, "Hey, that's Frank Thomas out there." He looked at me, shrugged his shoulders, and said, "We got nothing." I said, "I'll be right back." Went to a store up in Kapahulu, bought a few packs, got a couple of Frank Thomases, and we got it autographed. Frank Thomas is a big dude, a really nice guy, and I've had several offers for this card, but nada. I'm going to keep it because of the story, and plus, I was a Frank Thomas fan way back when. Here's our final sports collectible or collectibles for this segment. I see it as a set, so sports collectible to me. Now, it should be familiar to many of you here on Kauai. PGA Grand Slam of Golf tickets for all 3 days. This was the first time Tiger Woods played in this event. It was held at the Poipu Bay Golf Course. Now, what I remember most about those 3 days is I got there somewhere about 5:36 every single morning and was always parked about halfway up the bypass road. Now, that was a long haul to the golf course. Remember, tickets are a great way to remember that event. Great keepsake, and it's something that I'm going to cherish for a long, long time because it was the first I can remember of big-time golf on Kauai. Well, there you go. That's Joe's Junk for this week. Now back to the countdown. How's that segment of Joe's Junk? That Frank Thomas card? That's pretty sweet. No matter what stadium I've been in for baseball, whether it's broadcasting a game or just to watch, I've always felt that the center field seats were the best seats in the house. You can see everything. The fans, umpires, the players, even a concession stand. Well, our next segment takes us under Aloha Stadium for one of the coolest sports exhibits you'll ever see here in Hawaii. It's got helmets, photos, posters, bats, and baseballs. Most of you don't get to see it because unfortunately not everybody can go underneath the stadium and get onto the field, but I've been lucky enough to do it a few times, and every time I go there, I always stop and check it out. So we'll enjoy part one of a two-part series of what's under Aloha Stadium. Hey, I got this one. I got it. Oh! Yeah, baby. When you get to Aloha Stadium, this is what you see. And as iconic as it is throughout the state, there's much more about Aloha Stadium than meets the eye. When you get into the stadium, you go past the box office, through the security gate, down the hall, next to the elevator, and next to the ramp that leads to the field, there's a sports exhibit. That's a Hawaii sports fan's dream. You'll find pictures of Hawaii sports pioneers and icons, posters of some of the greatest events in the stadium's rich and storied past, and other memorabilia that defines Hawaii's sports history. The Hawaii Sports Hall of Fame was set up to ensure that the people who helped shape Hawaii sports history are remembered forever. You'll find non-sports figures like the late Senator Patsy Mink, who supported the gender equity movement. How's about UH baseball coach Les Murakami, or even former Olympian Robin Amo Santos, a Wahine volleyball legend. Brother Chad Rowan, or as he is more well known as, Yokozuna Akebono. It's about time the stadium start collecting helmets from Hawaii high schools. There's also a pic of the father of soccer in Hawaii, Jack Sullivan. Ma'a Tanuvasa, who's got a Super Bowl ring, is here. Lindsey Berg, a former Olympian and Punahou alum. Dr. Donis Thompson, former UH Wahine Athletics Director. Former Bruin and Rainbow Warrior, Mark Tuine, who played for the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys. And no, we haven't forgot about the greatest, Duke Kahanamoku. Olympic weightlifter Tommy Kono, who has won multiple gold medals. You'll see world champion boxers Jesus Salud and Ben Villaflor. Wrestlers Mr. Fuji, Lord Tally-Ho Blairs, and gentleman Ed Francis, they're here. All-time great baseball players Derek Tatsuno, Sid
Fernandez and Wally Yonomine. I can go on and on for days. Just remember, if you ever get the chance to get onto the field at Aloha Stadium, ask to see the Hawaii Sports Hall of Fame exhibit. As a Hawaii sports fan, this is a must-see. It'll either bring back small kid time memories or help piece together stories that your father or grandfather told you about. There's no question this will be one of the highlights of your visit to Aloha Stadium.
I got my home run ball, so it's a great game no matter who wins today. Well, how was that segment? One of the coolest sports exhibits you'll ever see here in Hawaii, somewhere for the biggest names in Hawaii sports history to be there for the rest of their lives and beyond for all of us to enjoy. Now let's move to the fastest segment of our show, drag racing. We went to the final drag races of the season at the Kauai Raceway Park down in Mana. We're going to feature Zylea Lawrence, who's got the coolest junior dragster in their program. The Countdown crew dropped in at the Kauai Raceway Park in Mana for the final drag races of the season, where the weather was beautiful and perfect for racing. It's always a great time for the drivers, pit crew, and families. Most times they're one and the same. In fact, families make an entire weekend of race day, preparation, wrenching, cooking, and cheerleading. After spending an entire day at the races, it didn't take long to figure out that no matter what's your background, a drag racer is a different breed of person. And as the season comes to a close, let's take this time to recognize the winners of the final races of 2016. In the motorcycle class, it's Matt Kaliohi. Street class goes to Trenton Kamat. Ricky Uemura took the sports compact class. Kevin Suga ripped his way to the Muscle V8 trophy. Super Pro, Donovan Gomes. Pro ET, Randy Lawrence. My favorite division, Top Gun, is won by Eugene Fukushima. And in the junior dragsters, where it could be the most competitive class of the drag races, Devin Almara took top honors with Zylea Lawrence as the runner-up and this week's featured drag racer.
We're here with Zylea, junior drag racer. What's it mean to you to be part of the junior drag program?
Well, first of all, it's really good being a part of like a whole group and everything, you know, getting to meet other kids and like mingle with everybody. And it's really good just having lots of experiences from this.
How's it feel when you go up against a guy and you get to beat them?
Feels pretty good because, sorry, but guys think, you know, they're top dog, but girls kind of been taking over, so feels pretty good.
That's right, the girls do kind of rule the junior drag program, right?
Yes, they do.
Well, talk about your car. I think it's the best painted car in the whole junior drag program.
Well, this paint, it was inspired by my helmet, which I got from Oahu sometime, and they asked me what I wanted with the car, so I said I wanted it to paint my helmet. So they went to Island Airbrush and they painted my car to my helmet. So yeah.
What's the rush of drag racing?
The rush is trying to get past the person that you're racing against, you know, just the adrenaline kicks in when you're about to get to the finish line and you don't know if you won or not, and yeah.
Oh, I know when you just pulled in, there was a lot of people that started working on your car, including yourself. Talk about the crew that maintains this car.
Well, my crew chief is Barry Aruda. He's over there, but he helps me a lot on the line, and so does my uncle, and my grandpa works on my car a lot, and they just help out with like the tire pressure, maintaining like the gas and the oil and stuff like that. They just help me function totally.
Here's might be the toughest question. If you weren't drag racing, what would you be doing instead?
Sleeping, because there's nothing I would rather do than drag race, basically.
Well, thank you very much, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey Todd, no wonder the cops was following us around all day long. Well, that does it for another edition of The Countdown. We're produced by Motivate Sports and approved by Oakley. I want to throw a shout out to Tony Ritchie of the Kauai Drag Racing Association, Dave Vinton at OC16, Natalie Iwamoto at the HHSAA, and of course the Kauai Hau Little League Association. Don't forget, we'll have another action-packed show next week. I'm Anahola Joe Pahukula. Catch us on The Countdown.